Wake up, Rip City, because SHAEDON Sharpe is back. The Blazers beat the Pelicans 125 to 117 last night at Gliss. SHAEDON has 35 points, 13 for 18 from the field. Incredible performance last night from SHAEDON Sharpe. Good performance from the Blazers as they beat the Pelicans. This is the Wake Up Rip City podcast. I'm Alex Moore. Alongside me, it's my co-host, Jay Gliss. Jay Gliss, how are you doing today? How are you feeling about the game last night?
Doing good. Finally got a win on the road trip, so nothing to complain about there.
Exactly, and I think this is the kind of SHAEDON Sharpe that we have both wanted to see. And when SHAEDON plays like he played last night, I am just a happy Blazers basketball fan because he's my favorite player to watch on the team just by his style, stylistically, the way he shoots the ball, the way he gets to the rim, and he was doing all the things last night. And I believe he was perfect from inside the three-point line last night, going 11 for 11 from 2. But Gliss, I mean, we're both waking up on the right side of the bed this morning with the performance last night from SHAEDON Sharpe.
Yeah, it's just kind of going off the back of what we talked about in the last episode. It's just what we've been waiting for, what we've been hoping to see. You know, his fit just didn't seem right in the first couple weeks of the season, and now everything looks as it should.
Absolutely, we're back on track, right? I mean, 2 30-point performances in a row. Everything we've talked so much about him pressing, and that just doesn't seem to be happening anymore. He's so much smoother. And you know what I love in these pre-game interviews and these post-game interviews? What he's talking about is he's talking about watching film. And he had mentioned in the Magic game, he's like, "Oh, this is how they guard me. This is how I know I need to get to my spots because I watched film." And then he said similar things before the Pelicans game as well. So I'm loving this, just the attitude from SHAEDON and just kind of where his mind is at. Just to, you know, of course, an NBA player is supposed to watch film, but I don't know if very young SHAEDON was watching film like this. So that's exciting to hear that his perspective maybe has changed a little bit too.
Yeah, for sure. And I would say too, the other thing that kind of got me excited is just some of his decision making. The one that comes to mind is that fast break where he, you know, kind of had I think it was a 3-on-1 or a 3-on-2 fast break. And a lot of times I feel like he's going to be super aggressive in those situations. And in this particular situation, he dished it off to Denny, who finished, you know, with the dunk. And just some of that decision making, seeing him evolve as a player, because he is still a young player. That's the kind of stuff that gets me excited because we all know what he can do offensively when things are clicking. But seeing that kind of decision making is something that I think adds a little bit to, you know, kind of see where he's going and how he grows.
Speaking of where he's going, is Denny going to be an all-star? Yes or no, Gliss? Go for it.
I mean, I'm going to say yes right now. I mean, you know, there's still a lot of time, but I mean, if he's playing the way he's playing right now, I mean, it's how is he not an all-star with the numbers he's putting up?
It's incredible to watch Denny now because, you know, we talk a lot about SHAEDON because we have so many expectations for him and kind of living up to this new contract that he's got, and just, you know, obviously the Blazers are missing that star on this team. And now a lot of the conversation has changed to, is Denny the star? Is Denny a true number one on a championship team? And, you know, maybe that question, let's save that question for later. But the fact that we're even considering that Denny could be a true number one on a championship contender is absolutely insane from where, you know, the Blazers started with Denny, from where he's been, even looking back at Denny on the Wizards and what the Blazers traded for him, man. Whew. Not that to look at this guy and grown, and man, it's just been incredible to watch him. But it's crazy comparing like Sharpe and Denny, and they're obviously, you know, different players and everything like that. I won't get into that, but just from expectations, like I'm expecting Denny to do what he's doing nowadays. Just his ability to get to the rim, But and that three ball falling, he's kind of shooting that kind of off balance three now, which is just like, oh damn! Like when you're shooting that and hitting it in people's faces, hitting it when he's open, and the ability to get to the rim, he's doing it all for the team, and it's that level of something that is obviously going to lead to them having a better record this year. And you've got to envision that the Vegas odds makers didn't think about Denny taking this leap when they put the over at 34.5.
Yeah, and he makes it look so easy. Like that's the thing that jumps out to me is not only is he just filling up the stat sheet, but he plays with just this like ease. It's like when he gets the ball at the top of the key, and you can tell that he's going to match up one-on-one. It's like you almost feel like every time he's going to get to the rim, and he's either going to score, he's going to get fouled, or he's going to find an open teammate. And so that's what's been impressive to me is just how it's almost like you don't even really feel the impact of it when you're watching it, just because it just feels so seamless. The entire game. It's like you just kind of know by the end of the game, like, oh, he's probably going to have at least 20, 25 points and a bunch of rebounds, maybe a couple steals. A bunch of assists. So that's what's been impressive to me is just he's making it look so easy.
2025. Now we're even talking about 30. I mean, he had 30 against the Pelicans. And so, yeah, I mean, Denny's leap has been so exciting to watch. He finishes last night with 32 points, 12 for 18 from the field, 4 for 8 from three. And my favorite stat of them all, Gliss, 0 turnovers for Denny. Fantastic for a forward who's handling the ball as much as he is to have 0 turnovers in a game like that. Amazing. So, and of course the NBA, like, I don't know if we should swear on this podcast or not, but what the hell? I mean, this the All-Star game, they just can't figure this shit out. And now it's going to be USA versus the world. And now I'm hearing that there's only going to be 8 spots for international players. And if there's only 8 spots for international players, then Denny's not going to make it. But then Adam Silver's saying, "Oh, we'll add more spots if we find that there's going to be the need for more international players or something." I'm totally botching what he said, but I'm pretty pissed about this because it's kind of bullshit. And so, and if it's 8 spots, like you can count up the international players who are going to get those spots. I mean, I'm not going to. I could try to do it right now, but
just by name, alone.
SGA, Luka, Wembanyama. I mean, that's 4. I'm sure there's more that I can't remember right now because I'm upset. And so Denny should make this All-Star team if he continues his play like he is, and the Blazers continue to play well, and obviously have an above 500 record. They are deserving of an All-Star if they're in that playoff picture. And so, man, I don't know what the hell's going on with this All-Star game. And so, I kind of like the idea just on paper a little bit. Like I like the USA versus the international thing, but I'm just going to be straight up honest. The international team is going to destroy the US team. The international team is dominant by all the Jokic. I didn't even say. Sorry, Gliss. I'm a little upset about this. I don't know what's happening.
I can tell. No, you're right. And yeah, I agree. Those international players, like that team's no joke. And it's kind of funny because you mentioned. I was thinking about this last night when they were talking about it on the broadcast, talking about this, the international selections for the All-Star game. And it is kind of funny that like international players, especially the ones that are, kind of elite players in this league, they all kind of have that ability. Like they just have a style that's different. In their play and their ability to do so many different things in the game. It's not like they're just going out there just doing one thing, like, a guy that just comes off the bench and scores 20 points every night. A lot of them have the ability to really fill up the stat sheet. And it's interesting because, you can't help but think about someone like Luka, and Denny's not on that level, but stylistically, that's kind of what we're seeing from Denny, like the way he plays, his ability to do so many different things that impact the game. So yeah, it is interesting that you bring that up because I agree that international, like those players, like they can do everything. it's they're not just out there, hitting threes, like Steph Curry. I mean, they can do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and it's interesting because you hear so much about the AAU system here in the
Hmm.
and if it's broken because all these players are they just play basketball 24/7, and back in the day they would play football, they would play baseball, and so it's kind of interesting how it's affected the game in that well. And then you look at kind of injuries too, like I mean, how many torn Achilles have we seen in the last few years, and like why is it happening to younger players, why is it happening to Tyrese Halliburton, like and stuff like that. And so it's just interesting how all those things relate and what's going on, and maybe that the system needs some changes, and maybe we should look at overseas and see how kind of they're doing things, because of the rise of the international player has been just so crazy to watch, and it's almost like difficult to understand. I'm always like you, because you always expected the U.S. to be at the top, but it's like now you're like, wait, who's the best U.S. player and stuff like that. And it's almost hard to figure it out. Obviously you got like Anthony Edwards, and still have like the old crew and LeBron and Steph Curry and stuff like that. But it's just like what is going on? Like the international player is absolutely dominating, the basketball field right now, the field of players. And it's interesting because CJ, and I didn't expect us to go on this tangent, but why not? But have you seen this quote from CJ McCollum? He's talking about the rookie on the Wizards, and now I'm blanking on his name. But he was chatting with him, and CJ's like, yeah, I'm talking to this like 19-year-old, and I have to kind of think back to when I was a 19-year-old, like what I like to do, where my mindset was at.
Right.
And he's talking to him, and he's like, oh, what are your hobbies? Like, what do you like to do? And he's like, I just play basketball. That's it. He's like, that's all I do. Just play
Right.
basketball. And CJ's like, man, you're gonna have to find some hobbies, man, because like we're on the road, we're playing basketball or practicing 6 days a week. You're not playing basketball on that seventh day. You're gonna be exhausted. You're gonna be tired. You need something else to do to get your mind off, keep yourself fresh, or else you're gonna burn out. And it's just like, damn, like it's like these like I feel like obviously when you're obsessed with something and it's something you're good at, and basketball is it, and you're going to make a life and career out of it, it's like that's what I want to do all the time. But it feels like that is also kind of the downfall a little bit of kind of where we're going in the trajectory with maybe the U.S. basketball system and sports in general. But I don't know. This is kind of it's an interesting topic to just see where the U.S. is going and kind of where basketball's headed. But yeah.
Yeah, you're right, and especially when you talk about the injuries that you brought up. Um, I mean, there has to be some reason behind why we're seeing this so much, so much more often in recent years. And like you said, it's even young players now. Um, are the players just going too hard? Like, are they overworking? Like, what is it? It feels like there has to be some logical explanation as to why we're seeing that so much, and it sucks because it obviously affects the product. Like, we want to see those young up and coming players, the guys that are going to kind of carry the torch. We want to see those guys out there. So
I mean, Tyrese Halliburton had an incredible run in the finals last year, and just seeing everything that he did was so like exciting to watch. From a Blazers fan perspective, I was like, oh, this is what I want the Blazers to do. This is what I want the Blazers to be. And yeah, for him to do that in Game 7 is just like this didn't used to happen. This was an old man injury. And even then, it felt like it was rare. Like I'd be interested to see the stats of torn Achilles. Like maybe in the 90s or the aughts, and see how many times it happened to younger players. Because I don't remember it happening since I've been watching basketball that often. Then you see a guy like Anthony Davis right now, who I think the Blazers will be visiting Dallas pretty soon here. But they're holding him out because he has a calf injury, and he wants to play. And former Mavs GM Nico Harrison wanted him to play too, but he has a calf injury, and they know what could happen. Or he's having problems with his Achilles, and they know what can happen if you come back from that injury so quickly. And so they're holding him out. Like it's just like it's interesting to see kind of the push and pull in the relationships there. But yeah, should we get back on the Blazers? No, I love it.
yeah, sure.
Yeah. So, any negatives from last night, Gliss, or where are you waking up on the wrong side of the bed?
Nothing, nothing too negative. I'll just say that I feel like that's a game you want to put away a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
It's a road game, but it just kind of felt like maybe I don't know. It felt like they were kind of stalling out a little bit, like just waiting to turn it on. And I think that's a dangerous game to play, as we saw in the first two games on this road trip. Obviously, those are better teams than the Pelicans team we saw last night. But I would like to see a little more sense of urgency in a game like that, where you know they did kind of create some separation in that third quarter. I feel like that's the time where you want to see a good team really put their foot on the gas and just kind of finish it out where it's not within reach.
Agreed. As Blazer fans, we know that that's never going to happen. They will always make us sweat till the very last second. So, but I mean, yeah, it's just like that Pelicans team, man, is completely depleted, and it just felt like they should have put that away. I was in the second quarter. I was like, please, just build a lead, and then of course they're down by two going into halftime. Like, damn, and then
Yeah.
thing, and then in the fourth quarter, like they do build that little bit of a lead, and then the Pelicans came right on back. So. Completely agree. It's hard to be like, oh, because they won, but it's like, man, put it away. And so that sense of urgency will need to come. It does feel like they play up and down to the opponent a little bit, which is, it's still early in the year, but it does feel like that's a little bit of a trend going on. So,
Yeah, because that team doesn't feel like it's very good. I mean, we talked we talked about this before the Pelicans game. I mean, like their best player is basically like a glorified season ticket holder. He doesn't even play. So I mean,
yeah, no, that's true. That's true. I think a negative that I have, which is something that I've kind of started to see trend a little bit this season, is I think Tumani Kamara on the offensive side of the ball has been a little bit of a struggle. I think his mindset is different and it's changed, and that's made it a little bit difficult for him. But damn, if I see him do that freaking jab step, dude, one more time before he shoots that three, dude, I get so pissed. I'm like, dude, no one's falling for your jab step. Like, it never works. He does shoot well last night. He shot 3 for 6. And I mean, the guy's an absolute menace on the defensive side of the ball, leading the league already in charges, which is just crazy. I was like, is he going to do this again? And if he's doing it again, and then he's drawn offensive fouls too. Like that's one of the craziest stats I've ever seen last season is that he led the league in charges and then led the league also in offensive fouls that weren't charges. Absolutely insane. Would not be surprised if he did it again. But I think he has started. I think mentally he's like trying to take on more on the offensive side of the ball, and it's just been a little bit of, like I was saying, it's just been a little bit tough to watch because, I mean, he just doesn't really have the skill set to necessarily be someone who can handle the ball or drive the ball into the paint super effectively. And then when that three is not falling, and yeah, I mean, he's just had some games where I've just been like, man, he's shooting a little bit too much. He's just been a little bit trigger happy with the ball. But I don't know, man. It's hard to be mad at that guy. I freaking love that guy. So it's like that's just like if I had to pick one, I'd say that. But I mean, other than that, like the guy plays his heart. I mean, just seeing him on defense, he's playing his heart out. If
it's fun to watch. He makes defense fun to watch.
you watch a Blazers game, there is no reason for you to watch the ball when the Blazers are playing on defense. You should be watching Tumani Kamara. You could watch Donovan Clingan as well. The way he plays, the way he switches onto people, the way he gets up in jerseys, the way he's picking up people full court. I'm telling you, like if you are watching Blazers games, don't watch the ball on the defensive side. Watch Tumani Kamara, and you will have a great time because that dude gives his heart out on defense. So I know I started this as a negative, but I can't even do it. I can't. I'm already back. So.
Yeah, how about that steal with a couple minutes left where he just caught them napping, inbounding the ball, and just reached into the air and just like, yeah. I mean, he's a ton of fun to watch on defense. I agree with you on the offensive side of the ball. It does feel like he's maybe just kind of playing with this sense of like, I don't know, like he feels like he should be taking on more of an offensive role, but it's not necessarily warranted. I think he plays best on the offensive end when he's playing within the flow of the offense. When on plays where we see like where Shade, in particular, like when that play when Shaden passed it out and the ball swung back around like 3 passes, like those are the kind of shots I want to see him taking, like
Yeah,
an open shot where the ball is swung to the opposite side.
what you're talking about. Yep.
Yeah, or a cut, like a cut to the basket. Like I feel like his points need to come more within the flow of everything. Like let's run it through Denny, let's run it through Shaden, let's run it through Drew, and a lot of the other guys I think are great complementary players, but I don't necessarily want to see them doing a lot of isolation or taking a large number of shots throughout the game.
I've also noticed a little bit of a trend is like the carelessness with the ball. Obviously, we talked about Drew the other day. Whatever, it happens. I think he also had a turnover in the fourth quarter last night. Okay, he's a champion.
He was also balling out last night. That was
Kamara had 4 turnovers last night. It's like, how, why? I don't understand how Tumani Kamara should have 4 turnovers. He should not be in positions where he should be turning over the ball that much.
exactly.
And like if he is a 3-and-D guy, like there's no reason for him to have 4 turnovers. And I mean that's insane. Like that doesn't make sense to me, and that should not happen. And like so, I mean, get out of positions where you're going to be turning over the ball 4 times. That's all I can say. But like I said, I love the guy to death. He's every dad's favorite Blazer. So Tumani Kamara. Okay, Gliss. Anything else to add? The Blazers beat the Pelicans last night. SHAEDON SHARPE is back. I don't think we should worry about him anymore, but we'll never see. We'll see. But I mean, I think he's back in stride. 125 to 117, and then Friday, the Rockets in Houston. So that'll be a tough one. But anything else? All right, Gliss.
No, I think we pretty much covered it. I'm interested to see how they play against this Houston team. Obviously, it's probably on paper the best team that they're playing on this road trip. So yeah, I think that another test just against a really, really good Western Conference team on the road. So I'll be interested to see how they show up. And they've kind of like, even though this is a 5-game road trip, I mean, they kind of caught a break. They didn't really have any back-to-backs or anything like that.
Yeah.
As of yet. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to see if they can finish this road trip strong. It'd be nice if they could, after dropping the first 2, if they could come back home 3-2, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough.
Okay, so we've talked basketball. We're the Wake Up RipCity podcast. So we'll talk a lot of basketball on this podcast, but I kind of thought we'd maybe introduce a little segment later on in the show where we get outside of the world of basketball and maybe we can talk about some morning things, maybe some breakfast things, Gliss. So we're gonna open up this conversation here and move away from basketball.
All
and
right.
I want to talk about one of my favorite breakfast elements, the breakfast sandwich, Gliss. Now, the city of Portland has a lot of great breakfast spots, a lot of great places for breakfast sandwiches. So my question to you, Gliss, and maybe it's not even a spot, maybe it's a type of breakfast sandwich, but what to you is the most underrated element or underrated breakfast sandwich?
This is an interesting topic for me because I'm not generally a big breakfast person.
Oh,
But
turn my camera off.
it's not that I don't like breakfast food. It's just, I don't know. I just don't do it that often. And I guess part of the problem is if I'm going to eat breakfast, like I want like a full breakfast. Like I want all the savory stuff. I want hash browns and eggs and all that stuff. And I'm not going to make that.
Let me just clarify for the audience here, Gliss. You're one of these people, and I know these people because sometimes I'm this person too, who skips breakfast in the morning.
Generally speaking, yes.
Gotcha. You're fasting. You're intermittent fasting.
Basically, yeah, basically. And I will say, like, breakfast for dinner is also very underrated. So, I mean, it's not that I don't like breakfast food.
Oh,
Yeah, but I will say, like, if I were gonna have a breakfast sandwich,
okay.
I just want like a typical, like, I just want egg
Yep.
and sausage.
Okay.
It can be on a croissant, it could be on a, McMuffin, whatever.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like my go-to. Like, I want a good sausage and egg sandwich.
Okay. Gotcha. I'm a creature of habit, Gliss. So basically every morning, get out the frying pan. I've been doing veggie sausages, but sometimes I do regular sausages. I'm not a vegetarian, but sometimes I like to save the planet, whatever. Uh, Sausage, egg, take an English muffin, toast it, and then that's the breakfast sandwich. Sometimes I get crazy. I'll throw in some cream cheese on
Oh,
the
interesting.
is which I've heard, is not something that is commonly done. But sometimes I just like a little, like, kind of like a sauce on there or something like that too. But my favorite breakfast sandwich to eat, or maybe not my favorite. I shouldn't say this. I'm gonna say it. My favorite breakfast sandwich to eat is at a little bar called Bare Bones.
Okay.
Bare Bones is on 29th and Belmont. And I've looked at all the lists, Gliss, and I've done research. I've eaten all the breakfast sandwiches in Portland. I've tried them all. And then gone on the internet and seen what is the best breakfast sandwich in Portland. But Bare Bones, I've never seen it on a list, and I don't know why, man. These breakfast sandwiches, I've been eating them for 10 plus years. Over at dinner, whenever. I'll eat them in the middle of the day. It doesn't matter. I've eaten them at 2 a.m. They are incredible. They toast the bread perfectly, and it's this perfect, crisp bread. You can choose whatever you want on the breakfast sandwich. So, Gliss, it has all the elements that you want. It has all the elements that I want. You can add cream cheese to it. You could add sausage. You can do bacon. You can do avocado. I mean, I think my perfect breakfast sandwich is definitely bacon, avocado. But I'm too lazy to make bacon at home, whatever.
Right.
And Bare Bones, and it's nothing crazy, it's nothing special, but these sandwiches that they have are incredible. I'm not getting paid by Bare Bones, even though I wish I was.
I was gonna say, is this like a is this like a ad spot?
I'm doing this for free. If you have the Bare Bones people, call my people. I have spent so much money at that establishment. My first drink when I turned 21 was at Bare Bones.
Okay.
And I mean, I just love this spot. It's just a classic kind of Portland dive bar, but they're also a cafe, so they have a cafe bar combo. I don't know why I'm telling you more about the place.
Alex Moore, producer, podcaster, and Bare Bones advocate.
I have a little bit of money in the restaurant, but I mean, it's just a great spot. I don't know why it's not getting love. I don't know why it's not on the list. I don't see it on the places like bars being mentioned and stuff like that. And
well, now I gotta try it.
It's just a good spot. I'm buying, Gliss. If you come over to this side of town, I'm buying. We'll have a breakfast sandwich at any time you want. So.
All right.
All right. We tried something new on the Wake Up RipCity podcast. We'll try to have a little bit more fun with the city of Portland and kind of our favorite things to do. Why not? I mean, it's fun. Blazers are winning. They're over 500, 6-5. We're in a good mood. We're happy. SHAEDON SHARPE was awesome. Denny was awesome. The Blazers have been great. So they go on the road Friday, 5 p.m. tip against those Houston Rockets. And then I think they finish off the road trip against Dallas, if I'm Dallas.
Yeah.
Yep, they finish against Dallas on Sunday, a 4:30 tip. That'll make you happy. And then,
especially on a weekend, that's awesome.
Back at home Tuesday against Phoenix, which I will be at that game, and then Wednesday against Chicago, which you will be at that game. So
correct. Yeah.
Games. Thank you so much for listening. We're on YouTube. Please subscribe. Please follow. Please give us a like. We're also on Spotify. You can watch us on video there. And we're just having fun. We're just two former broadcasters two former producers who love talking Blazers, who once hosted a Blazers podcast, who are just making another one just to have a good time. And we love doing this. So, Gliss, that's it for today. I'll see you next week.
See ya.